Alright, welcome back. In this video, we're going to be talking about keyboard shortcuts. Keyboard shortcuts are a series of a couple keys that you can press to quickly carry out some functions on your MacBook. This is part 3, or video 3 out of the 3 videos that we're going to be doing. So let's dive right in and we'll start looking at some keyboard shortcuts and scenarios where you might find these super useful. This is definitely one of my favorite features of a MacBook, or any computer actually, but specifically these ones are for MacBooks. Yeah, so let's jump into the first one. Okay, so this feature doesn't really have a name, but it lets you see all of the applications that you have up and running in the background, and it also lets you quit them at the same time, which I'll show you in a second. But if you want to switch between applications, what you can do is press the Command key and the Tab key, and if you keep holding Command, it will keep it open. And then as you press Tab more, you can cycle through these different apps. So if I let go on Finder, it just goes to the home screen because Finder's always running. But if I go Tab and then I go to Microsoft Excel and then I let go of Command, so if I go like this and I go to Finder, we'll try it again. Command Tab, and if I go to Excel, it brings that one to the front. If I go to Finder, it'll bring that one to the front. Super useful, really nice, because sometimes you don't always know what applications you have running in the background, but with this, it's a quick and easy way to see which ones you have running. And then the next tip, I'm going to show you how you can actually quit applications quickly using that. Alright, so the next shortcut is for quitting applications. So the first way that you can do this is just by having like an application open. So let's just like open one of these Excel spreadsheets up here. This is just a bunch of calculations I used for a chemistry class last year. But say I'm like done using it and I have my file saved, and I want to close this and I actually want to shut Excel down. So the way that I'm going to do that is hold the Command key and press Q, and boom, it quits the entire application and it's not running anymore. And if we want, we can use that keyboard shortcut that we learned before, Command Tab, and if you see, Excel is not in here anymore because we just shut it down. And if I let go on Finder, it stays on Finder. But we can combine these two tips into one actually. So if I go Command Tab and I want to quit messages, I can hold down that Command key and I can actually go over and press Q to do Command Q, and you sometimes have to press it a couple times. Yeah, there we go. I pressed it 2 times and it quit messages. And then maybe I want, this is Microsoft Outlook, this is my email. So maybe if I wanted to quit that, I could do that and quit it. And now I just want to stay on Finder. But yeah, that's a really handy little tip there. My third and final tip for this video is this. Here's the scenario. So I'm using Safari here, and this will also work on Chrome or any other browser that you use. So we're on the internet, right? We can just go to Google here. This is probably a pretty familiar place for you. So up here I've got my tabs, right? And I can go over here and press this plus button to create a new tab. You know, and then I could open, I don't know what website I would want to, well, I'll open this one. I have these bookmarks up here. I can sign in, But maybe I want to quickly open new tabs and I don't want to go up here to press this new tab button. So there's a keyboard shortcut that you can do that's actually really nice, and it is Command T. So if you do Command and T, it pulls up new tabs for you. This is something that I use all the time. I use this every day, all day. Because if I'm just like on Google or whatever, or let's say I'm on this website actually, and I'm like, oh, I wonder how far is the sun from the earth? And I can just do quick Command T, how far is the moon, or whatever. And then if I'm like, oh, how far is the sun? And you can quickly like search things like that. Or I can do that again, Command T, make a new tab. I can like open Amazon or whatever, something like that. It's just a really nice keyboard shortcut that I use every day and is something that you could probably use as well. So that's my third and final tip. Alright, so that was my third and final tip. As always, what we're going to do now is go into a little quiz session where we're going to test our knowledge on these, make sure that we can use them and get a little bit of practice in, just to cement these in our brains. So let's go on over to that. So the first keyboard shortcut that we're going to quiz on here is the one that we use to see which applications are running, and we can actually use this to also switch between them. So what is the keyboard shortcut that we use to quickly switch between apps and to see which ones are open and running? So I'll give you 10 seconds, just kind of explore and see if you can remember what keyboard shortcut we use for that. Alright, so the one that we did for that was Command Tab. And Command Tab is again how we switch between applications. Alright, and the next keyboard shortcut that we looked at, this one is for how we quit apps. And it can also be paired with that Command Tab shortquat that we just looked at. So I'll give you 10 seconds again and see if you can remember which keyboard shortcut is used for quitting applications. Okay, so to quit applications, we used the Command Q shortcut. So I have my settings application opened here, and if I just do Command Q, it quits that application. Alright, and then the final quiz question here is, if I'm in a browser like Safari or Chrome, what is the keyboard shortcut that I can use to open a new tab? So I'll give you 10 seconds, try and think of what that might be, and then we'll go over it in 10 seconds. Alright, and the keyboard shortcut that we used for that was Command T. So if we do Command T, we can pull up new tabs. We can open Drive, we can do YouTube, who knows, we could do whatever we want. We could do Workday, or we could search something like how far is the moon, just any kind of stuff like that. Alright, so that's going to wrap it up for this video. Those are 3 of my favorite keyboard shortcuts. They're super useful. I definitely use all of those every day, along with all the other things that we've talked about in the previous 2 videos. But if you have any questions, you can leave it in the comments, or just rewatch these videos, keep practicing all those things. The best way, again, to get better at them is to keep using them and trying them out. So thank you for watching.